fucking joke, won't it?
Okay.
I'm going to stand by, lads, because we're about to go live, okay?
Yeah.
He's an absolute wanker.
Absolute prick. And welcome to YouTube.
We're not live yet.
No.
Oh, I just heard it.
Yeah, we are. Now we are.
There we are.
Oh, awesome. You put the little faces in the corner.
I did, yes. I put. Everyone's got a little face in the corner.
So, how much did you get at that $1.99 the other day?
I actually haven't checked. I didn't actually check, to be honest. Let's have a look.
Got it.
It's worth seeing, like how much they took off it.
Oh, great! My mouse just stopped working. Haha. Just as we start, my mouse stops working. Great. You gotta love that. It's a good job I've got a spare. Well, ad-lib, everyone do an introduction.
How are we all doing, guys?
Whoa.
Right. I'm reading if you're talking down here because I've got, yeah. Actually, do you know what? I'm an absolute idiot. Let's put it here. I'm bloody looking at my phone and I can just put it on the computer next to me. I don't even see your faces.
This is true.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I bloody drew you the other day. It fucking took long enough.
It was a wonderful piece of hand-drawn artwork, that was.
That was lovely.
There we go.
Right, so tonight's conversation is go.
We are talking about weapon systems, essentially.
We are. So let's go with the first and obvious. Steve, what do you run? What is your primary go-to weapon system?
Hey, what is your? Hey, Steve.
Well,
sorry.
go on.
While your little icon comes over Nick's one on his face.
Oh, it's in the middle, mine.
No, there's one over his face as well.
I can't see one over my face, and I'm
yeah on the computer. Well. Whenever I'm on the computer, I can. Look, I'll send you a picture. I'm not even going to lie.
That's weird because it's not on mine.
Yeah, I'll send
it's not on mine.
I'll show you. Right, come to the charger.
I need it.
They are quite cool pictures, though. It did take me a while.
Essentially, they are awesome.
Right.
But right, anyways,
Back
to the subject. Steve, what is your go-to primary, your run weapon system? And then we'll work our way around.
So I kind of have two. Part because it depends. So the first one is my sniper, which is down here, which is this guy here, which is the
and
SRS.
what is that?
This is the SRS A1. Oh, it's actually the A2, but I have an A1 as well. It is upgraded with TNT barrel, hop, and a TNT fast hop type device. I can't really call it Terminator. That's it. Then we've got a Sniper Mechanics Wasp piston, and yeah, just a few bits of like different knob on it, which are from standard. Now I've got a Vortex Diamondback Tactical on this one, and that's the thing with a Desert Tech scope mount, so it's nice and high. And I run it with a Magpul sling because Magpul slings are awesome. Heavyweight BBs, shoots about just over 2 joules, close to 5.
What's that in FPS?
It will do like about 500 FPS on a 0.2, but I run 0.48, so I generally do it in joules to be on the safe side to avoid joule creep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, most sites now have a chart, don't they? That if you're using like threes, that they've got it what it would be anyway.
Yeah. So
my local, when we run a chrono, the marshal's got a printout of every single FPS, every single weight round. So we always know that is the specific for whatever a DMR, a sniper rifle, and an AEG.
Yeah,
All right,
yes.
cool.
So
most likely that now.
I measure in joules, partly because I've been stung in the past. I used for a little while the SSG 24 from Lovrich. It's a terrible gun, but I tried it out anyway. And that thing would basically dual creeps. It would shoot 500 FPS on 0.2s. But then when you put a 0.46 or 0.48 in it, it would shoot close to like 3 joules. I think
Oh, really?
the highest I had it up was 3.6 joules.
How does it dual creep so much then?
I don't know. So the way I fixed it is I shortened the barrel. I shortened it with its short barrel kit, and it then started to shoot around the limit.
Yeah.
So what about you, Ryan? What backcountry? What do you run? What's your go-to?
So I'm going to just do my second gun, because it's my night gun essentially, which is, and also when I can't be arsed sniping, which is this guy, which is the 417, and it's a DMR spec gun.
What are you doing?
And it's Tokyo Marui recoil with the VFC front rail on it to shorten it. I have again another Vortex Optic Strike Eagle scope. It's DMR with a Titan to lock it. And I've got a D-bal on it, got light on it for when I need a light, and I use a Hera Arms foregrip.
Right, I've got a dog involved as well now.
It's a pretty heavy gun as well. That's a good 5 kilos of gun.
How am I going to do this live stream? You're stood in front of the camera, bud.
Hey? Let's jump over to Scam. Scam, what is your go-to primary weapon then?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. Depends how I'm feeling. So I've got 3 recoils, all of which have been fully upgraded by camo raids. I've got a 416 Dev Group, I've got a Scar L CQC, and I've got a M4 top mod, which has been converted into a Block 2. All have got, the Block 2's got a Mark 0 2.1 Mossad. The 416's got BTC Spectre, and my Scar L has got a Gate Tightening. And all of them have had all the internals redone. So they're all shooting really nice. If the weather's nice, I like to run gas. I've got my MWS, which is converted into an L1 19 L2. And I've also got the Tokyo Marui MTR16. So it just depends what I'm feeling on the day. At night, I like to run the MP7. Nice, short, compact gun. And it's all set up for night.
Fair enough, mate. And what about you? What about Ryan? With your dog gone? What are you? What's your?
Yeah, he's gone now. He's stopped taking the limelight. So I'll be honest. I don't know shit about freaking airsoft guns. So I've got is it a KWA ERG, the recoil one?
Yeah. So
I got one of those. I think, yeah, the MOSFET part of it. One of the gate ones, but I don't know which one. Again, there's nothing special about it. It's just stock. And then I did buy a GHK gas blowback. Doc, come on, bro. GHK, and that's it. Again, I don't think there's anything crazy about that. They're all just stock. So if I'm honest, they're the only 2 I run, and they look exactly the same system. It's just except from obviously the gas blowback allows me to keep any. If I'm on a range for real, I get to keep the kind of transitions and the ergonomics all the same.
Yeah. So I run a TM Mark 18. It was originally a PQBR. All I've had done to that is a Madball type bore, pommy nubs and hot rubber. Camos did a complete clean down, a new motor, new spring, new cylinder. But that's my go-to for Mark 18, or my Mark 46, which is the A&K version with the ball gear, hop unit, and box mag.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I've got the A&K M249 Terra. And
Yeah.
I've also got an E&L AK-74SU.
Right. So we've said about our guns. Let's talk like airsoft gun brands and why we say these brands. Like, why do we name these brands? I.e., I like Tokyo Marui. I know Steve likes Tokyo Marui, and I know you, Nick, like Tokyo Marui. I think Ryan does as well. But what makes that brand appeal to us four,
So,
or just in general?
I mean, like for me, the only reason I got the KWA was because a couple of the lads that I did the training stuff with said, get it. To be honest, I spent probably, 400 quid on it nearly anyway, so I could have got a TM, but I don't know. I just went for it because someone said get it, so I did. I tend to listen to people. And then the GHK again was the same. I was told it was, well, from Gaz, who does Red Wolf and does the training with me, he felt the GHK was a little bit better than the TM when it came to gas in the sense of longevity, so I just went for it.
So, when I first got into airsoft, I tried all sorts of different guns. I was using G&G, GMP, ICS, and in that era, the pinnacle was Systemas, and I eventually had a System and PTW, and then I ended up joining Marines in 2012 and sold all my airsoft kit because I thought I didn't need it, and then ended up getting back into airsoft around 3-4 years ago, and I was going to the guy that I know, owns my local airsoft shop, and I said, look, I want to get a gun. I want a good gun. I want something that's going to last me. I want something that's reliable. What do you recommend? He goes, you can't go wrong with Tokyo Marui. And since then, I haven't really looked back.
Yeah, the first guns I had were actually all Crytax when I was in the States. When I stopped playing there and came back here, I didn't play for a while, and then I kind of essentially started with the TMs, and I've got a lot of TMs, but then there are some good other brands, but the TM is probably the most reliable, the most upgradable of any gun. There's just so many spare parts for them. You can do so much with them. If you look at their pistols, there's a huge range of aftermarket parts for them.
See, that's I tend to only pistol I go for, except from the WE Glock 17 I got. All mine are TM because I was always told, like pistol wise, you couldn't beat a TM pistol. I
mean, the thing is, you've got brands who literally pretty much all they do is TM upgrade parts and stuff. You've got such a wide range of different upgrade parts for TMs. It's just staggering. For instance, I've got this guy which is like the MP9 it's an AS. Actually, it's a KWA built gun, but it's badged by ASG in Europe, and there are almost next to no upgrades for this. However, you go for an MP7 from TM, and there are a ton of upgrades for it. You can get new nozzles, you can get new valves, new rubber, the kind of the nozzle where the gas comes out, which I forget what its name is. But you just have a huge range of actual parts that you can use to aftermarket upgrade, tweak. Whereas a lot of the other range of guns, the most you can do is barrel, hot rubber, and potentially fit a Titan or MOSFET that fits a V2 or V3 gearbox.
Yeah, a lot of other companies make like proprietary parts. I've noticed.
I mean, there are certain types of guns where you do get a good different set of parts. Like the M249s, for instance, are kind of an example of that because TM have never done an M249, so there's all up until the 46 last year. The end result has been that basically that is the only gun, or there's only third parties doing that gun, and they only seem to be made by a couple of people, and then they're rebadged. and therefore you get parts for those because people have got those guns and they want parts. Whereas if you look at, for instance, the BFC MP5, there are very few parts for that. But then you look at TM MP5s, there are a ton of parts for them. There's even companies that do replacement uppers and lowers and so on. So Classic Army do a replacement upper for all the TM MP5, so you can make them metal. Whereas your other brands, they don't have that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right there. I think when I looked for stuff that I wanted to do to some, like the one I've got, it was always, TM or WE.
Yeah,
I mean,
WE is effectively like a TM clone.
Yeah.
They are, and the thing is, they do make some good. They have some really atrocious guns, but they also have some really good ones. Like I've got the Wii MP5, and I found that really, really reliable. But then I've seen some Wii pistols which are atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my Glock 17 is AWE, and I've had it for 4 years now. Still going, still reliable, still no real issues with it. Still going pretty strong.
Dog. Yeah, and that's good. I mean, like Ricky's just said on the YouTube, saying like he's had his Crytek TAC, what do you want to call it, CBR, and he's had no issues. He's got a TM Night Warrior, a WE Glock 17, and then he says a GMP SPR, and again they've literally, no issues. So I think it's, a lot of it comes down to your upkeep and your maintenance. So it's like a real rifle. If you look after it and you keep cleaning it and make sure it's got, it's been cleaned and you send it off for a service and all that sort of crap, it's going to work. It isn't going to fail on you. It's, they tend to fail if you put, let's be honest, cheap parts in it.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time it's hit and miss with certain brands. Like I had a WE gas blowback M4.
Yeah.
It just went. It shit itself after 3 games, and it's a case of that's it. I'm done. So I moved on to the CQB RMWS by TM. Worked a treat. I just personally never used it as much as I wanted to, and I used it for another gun, which I regret because the MWSs are. I said they're as close to real steel as you're going to get, and they are great to play with. They are great fun to be behind as an airsoft gun. As I say, Nick's got MWSs, Steve's got TM MWSs. So again, they can vouch for them that they are fun to maintain, B upgrade, and just in general, just a great platform across the board.
The thing about the great thing about the MWS is, I'm not sure if it applies to some of the others, is all the parts, sort of the dimensions are mil spec, so you can put steel bits on it. So got the real steel buffer tube. You can put a real steel stock on it. You can put some real steel hand guards on it, but you might have to mod them a little bit. But it is a really nice platform to run. I mean, I'm actually going to be using the MWS tomorrow, I think. I want to run gas, and I think I'm going to be running this guy. And it is a nice platform. And it is super simple to maintain.
Yeah.
There's not much to go wrong. One of the things although AEGs are really nice and handy, they are a pain to maintain because gearboxes and so on are not something you really want to be tinkering with yourself if you don't really know much about them.
Yeah.
But with the MWS, you could strip your MWS down to essentially nothing, upgrade it yourself just by watching a couple of YouTube videos or basically just being kind of logical about it. It's a really, really nice platform. And it's a credit to what TM have done with it. That it's become quite a nice thing.
So talking about weapon systems, and we can talk about handles that go with them. So thoughts on sights. So we'll talk about weapon sights for now. So, I know, Steve, you have a lot of real stuff, but would you class? So this is me going to be where do you class Vortex in the sense of real steel? I hate using that word, real steel sights, but because you're talking airsoft, it's the only way to talk about it. But what you do on a real live weapon, where do you rank Vortex? Say something like aim point.
So I think they kind of span a range. You go from budget. So, for example, we have the Crossfire Red Dot, which I've got on here.
Yeah, that's
kind of the aim point T1 clone, and it's £140 or something like that. It's a good budget scope for most airsofters that they can pick up, and if you think about it, with their warranty, you'll get a replacement, and that's where the real value is in the Vortex, is their warranty. In a game, if it breaks, you can get a replacement without any sort of hassle.
When you say breaks, what that isn't getting hit by a BB, is it?
No, it is get hit, but you can have it shot out, and they will replace it.
No way, really?
What, really?
Oh, I mean that's pretty good warranty.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this is the thing about their warranty, is it's transferable. So it's the warranty is attached to the scope. So if I buy a second-hand scope, I've got the warranty that was shipped with. It's not tied to a person; it is lifetime. So that is kind of the bottom end. But then you get some mid-tier stuff, and then you get some higher tier stuff. For instance,
welcome back.
One you're about to show on the AMWS, which is now the Gen 1 version, isn't it? They've just come out with a second version.
Yes, so this is the first Gen 1. So this is essentially a EOTech equivalent, and it's priced roughly the same price as most of your EOTech hollow sights, because it is a hollow sight.
Yeah.
So it's priced in that same ballpark. What Vortex do is the naming gives you an indication of the quality. So Razor's typically their top tier. So that's the kind of the top tier shooters optics. So you get a rifle scope, for instance, with a Razor sort of model, as it were, and it will have the best glass in it and everything else. Whereas you get the Crossfire is right at the bottom end. For instance, I've got a Strike Eagle on here, and that's kind of a mid-tier end of the short dots. We've got pistol ones as well. They are kind of I kind of think put them as this kind of they're not the super high end optics makers.
Yeah,
they're the kind of the everyday person's optic makers.
You need to re-add me to it.
What was that?
Sorry, Alex dropped off, so I just need to fix Alex. But effectively, they're an optic that basically works for the majority of use cases.
Yeah.
And they just work. They're good quality. They've got a great warranty. Yeah, they're in use by loads of shooters all over the world, and also both real and airsoft. I think they've got quite a following in airsoft, partly because of that warranty. Because I kind of worked it out that basically I had two scopes. When I first started playing again in the UK, I had cheap scopes. And I bought a kind of I bought like a hollow scope like the EOTechs, and that cost me like 60 quid, and it got shot out in the second game. And then I had trying to think what it's closest to. I think it's like this, the Vortex Strike Fire scope. Yeah, and that was about £70, and it got shot out. So I had to get replacements. Whereas, by basically getting the Vortex ones, I've not had a Vortex one shot out, touch wood, yet. But I've had parts, like loose screws or end caps and stuff like that, and they replace them. Literally, I just contacted Vortex UK, and he'll send them out.
Okay, cool.
So all the parts basically are warranted. So the screw that you use to attach the Crossfire onto the rifle at the bottom here, that a warranted item. But essentially, if you lose it, they'll send you a new one.
Nick, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm with Steve on this. To be honest with you, I mean, unfortunately, my bank balance doesn't allow me to have as much Vortex as Steve does. But I've got Vortex on my MP7, and in terms of like illumination, I can dial it right down. So during the daytime, you could hardly see it, but when I'm running NV, it picks up that dot perfectly. And then if I were to turn it around and look at it, I've got no illumination on the front end of that red dot.
Yeah.
But I can still run it with MVG, and I can zero it. And I've zeroed that. I've zeroed it so well that it's bang on every time. And I've aligned the IR laser on my PEC box to be zeroed to my sight, and it's happy days.
Oh, fair one.
But yeah, I've got a lot of clone sights on my AEGs. When I start earning more money through work, that's when I'll look to start upgrading to Vortex.
Yeah.
On pretty much on everything.
Oh, fair. Well, that makes complete sense then. Alex,
I'm quite anal. I like to have each weapon system likes to have its own attachments. So then like flick flacking between them.
Yeah, same.
I'm kind of saying I'm looking around at the guns I've got around me, and I've got 3 Crossfire red dots because I've got them on 3 different guns. I've got 2 short dots, one on both my DMR'd rifles.
Yeah.
Both my SRSs have their own Diamond Back Tactical. The 249 now has a Strike Fire 2 on it, so that Alex can use that. There are some that I swap around, like the Razor gets swapped around onto my DevGru or onto the MWS as needed. But in general, it's kind of one scope per thing. Because the other thing as well, and this is the thing I've found with, especially with the sniper rifles, is when you move a scope, you've got to re-zero it, and if you want to use 2 guns in the same day and you've got one scope, you've got to re-zero them, and it's a pain in the ass. And the great thing about Vortex scopes is they don't lose zero. On any of the recoil weapons that we have, effectively, like the TM recoils or the gas blowbacks, they don't lose their zero.
Yeah.
They may lose zero on real weapons, but on the level of recoil and messing around that we do with these, the thing that's going to make them lose zero is they've not been mounted properly, or you drop the gun in a big way.
Yeah, honestly, what you mean.
Yeah, so obviously I run a Vision King short dot on my Block 2 with the variable, so I can switch between no magnification to probably what is it, 3. Nick, help me out. Was it 3
6
times? Is that?
I think it goes up to 3.5 times.
What, on the Vision King?
Yeah.
No, I guess it's 6, doesn't it?
I don't think it's quite that strong. But either way, I run the Vision King short dot on my Mark 8 on my Block 2. I've currently got a cheapish, crappy knockoff eBay special red dot on mine, purely because last time I had one, it took a round straight through it and smashed it to shit. So
no, that makes complete sense. Like, because now we're talking about sights. I mean, like, I seen Lucas at T-Rex Arms. He's using primary arms ones at the moment, and he's testing them out.
Yeah.
So
I like the idea of the Vortex with the lifetime warranty. It's just, again, like Nick, like yourself, I haven't quite got the back pocket for a Vortex. I mean, I'd love one. I'd love a small little Crossfire red dot, but at the moment, my Vision King's doing me perfect.
Yeah.
The cheap 20 quid red dot I got off Amazon. Piece of shit, but it does the job for now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like the ideas of red dot. Like, I like an ACOG, but I like the red dot. But I think I'd do what Steve's done with his which one that is, the Razor, and put a magnifier behind it if I'm going to do that. And then they would both have to be the same and have to be quality.
That's the thing about Vortex. They've got so many different add-ons. Like, they've got the magnifiers, they've got little RMRs for pistols. They have pretty much all of the things covered.
Yeah.
In some way. They do their own mounts as well. You've got covers, all kinds of stuff that you can sort of put on these, and yeah, they all do a really decent job, and you can get some of the sort of more mid-tier, higher end ones. You'll get different reticle types as well. So you'll get you can have it. This one I think is what they call a BDC, which has different style of the lines, and then you've got your straightforward sort of dot. The straight cross one with the MOA and so on there.
Yeah.
And I think they also have the other measurement, which I can never remember what it is. You've got they are a good option, and say if you are buying airsoft scopes and you get them shot out or broken on a regularish basis, it can be it's more cost effective to buy something like the Crossfire. Those two red dots I had blown out, it was roughly the price of the Crossfire. So at the end of the day,
if you can't afford to pay out all at once, I think DEFCON Airsoft, they do like a finance scheme, so you can put like 50% up front and then pay 0% APR on it.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
But let's get back to the main subject of weapons and weapon platforms. Let's go to the famous old question. If I was just starting airsoft, and we'll work our way around here again. Let's go with Nick this time. What would you recommend as a? I've just started playing. I've got no clue. What would you reckon is, or what would you advise as a good starting gun where I can go and do a skirmish? I can start off.
G&G, mate, combat machine. I mean, you're looking at about 120 quid, 130 quid for a G&G combat machine. They're pretty good. They're pretty consistent for what they are. And if you're just getting into the sport, I wouldn't recommend spending, lots and lots of money on something that you're not going to be happy with. Or if you're not going to stick with it, like for me, like an airsoft gun is an investment at the end of the day, and I want something that I'm going to pay my money from. It's going to last. But if I'm new to the sport and I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, then you can't go wrong with like a combat machine.
Steve, what do you want to jump in on? What are you on the same?
I mean, there are some good budget stuff. If you are basically just starting off, I wouldn't go with rental guns. I'd try and because they're generally kind of crap guns, to be honest. There are a couple of retailers that do like a get your Cara and buy a decent gun scheme, and they hold the gun until you've done your games and you get your Cara, which basically gives you some flexibility on you can go for something relatively high end, and pick that up, or you could go something low end or mid tier. But yeah, there is a lot of different sort of options. Some of the G&G ones are good. There's a couple. Depends. Also, if you want to go sniper as well. If you want to go a sniper, starting sniper, the VSR 10 is literally the dog's bollocks. It's a great platform to start with. You can upgrade it. Ton of aftermarket stuff for it. I wouldn't go for like the Novrich guns, which are sold as a starter, fully tripped out gun. They're terrible guns, to be honest. So I would, if it was, you start with a sniper, VSR 10. They're about £260. They're relatively cheap, and you can upgrade the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Literally, there's so much aftermarket parts. I mean, I've got a VSR 10 G spec, and when it came straight out of the box, it's an amazing rifle, really, really good. But it shoots quite underpowered because it's a Japanese spec, so it's limited to 1 joules, but it can still shoot really well. And then the upgrade for that would be like spring. Then you go piston and you go barrel and so on and so on. And you can throw a lot of money at the problem at that point, but you get a really good rifle.
Excuse me.
So if you're going if you want to play as a sniper, then definitely VSR 10 is that starting gun for you.
Just on that, on if you want to go into a sniper role, just realise you're not going to turn into Chris Kyle from American Sniper just because you've got a sniper rifle. And
Twice now.
You're not going to
also,
be pinging people at 100 meters plus.
No,
I
mean, like, yeah, I would go like I say, start off with an AG, have your firefights and stuff, and then, if you're swinging towards like the sniper role, like Steve said, go for the VSR, but just have like a bit of realistic expectations when it comes to using it, and don't use YouTubers as a guide to what what airsoft sniping is really about, because obviously with those like run cameras and stuff, like targets seem probably further away than they really are, and you don't get a really good depth of perception when it comes to
and also
airsoft sniping YouTubers.
You talk about the airsoft sniping YouTubers, like that is at its limit, like literally, and you'll find that it's probably nowhere near as pokey as it would be if you were 20 meters closer either. So when they moan about people not taking hits, it's getting to its limit where you won't hear the FUD or whatever as well as you would if it was somewhere else.
So a lot to remember as well about those videos, is that they're cutting down probably 2 hours worth of gameplay to 5 minutes. So those shots are the ones that they've kind of been able to pick out. And I snipe, and basically I've had times where it's been 3 or 4 shots at the same person before it's even hit. A BB going through bushes, hitting branches, they might not feel it. There's just so many variables. And after all, we are shooting little lightweight plastic pellets around, and they swirl in the wind like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Like when I practice shoot, if there's a good crosswind coming when I'm shooting, that thing's just getting whipped up and flying to the side. You've got to do tricks like use your hop to basically try and get it to go straight by shooting into the wind with your hop and angling your gun and all kinds of little tricks.
Yeah, and Ricky's just asked like Mills and MOA. I mean, MOA obviously is minute of angle, but that's real life. We're not shooting that. We're not losing that. That's the whole point of that minute of angle is that red dot. At 100 meters, we'll say will be, for example, I'm only using that as an example, but at my chest. And then at 200 meters, it may be the whole of my front chest. At 300 meters, it may be all here. Like that's what it means. It's like the further you get away, the bigger it will cover the target.
The thing about that's the thing, is that basically most of those it's one MOA at 100 meters. Whereas bear in mind that even my tricked out sniper rifle will only really reach out to 80 to 80 meters max, maybe 90 at a push, and if I'm getting a bit of luck on my side. Yeah. And that's and quite often you're sort of lobbing the shot as well. Yeah. So in effect, that 70 meter sort of point is kind of, and I zero mine to 60, so that I kind of I know that basically I'm going to hit anyone up to 60 meters away, and then I can compensate from there. So you're not going to be reaching out so far as that you are going to be using meters. And anyone who says to you that their AEG can shoot 100 meters is literally talking to their ass.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter with all the upgrades in the world, I think like the max effective range will always be around 50 meters. You can get some good shots on if you're shooting downhill, whatever. But really, effectively, you're looking at 50 meters max on anything, really.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that obviously watching films and movies that you get into airsoft and you're going to punch that 100-meter time card. You're never going to with any platform, with any
I mean,
to a DMR to an AEG.
We're about 200 meters all the time.
Like 70 meters is achievable. Yeah, you can hit a target at 70 meters, but in terms of like active engagement, by the time that BB's reached that 70 meter point, your target's already moved.
Yeah. I mean, they don't go particularly quick.
And the thing is, let's be honest, if you see someone shooting at you, you can tend to, at a distance, move out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it loads of times.
Yeah, you can almost see the pellet coming at you.
You could do John Wick on it and fucking Matrix at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, the number of times I've seen a BB coming, and it's literally like you arch your back, and it just goes past you, kind of thing.
Or you snap your head out the way and it flies past your head.
And then, but the thing is, you know what? So I know we're talking about weapons, but it's a bit of genuine here. It always crap. I definitely people shout. I definitely hit you. Like they must think that their rifle isn't shooting 300 feet per second, and it must be shooting about 1,000 feet per second, so you don't even see it coming out at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also this is what people got to realize. 500 feet per second is pretty actually quick, and on a little animal that you could you'd kill a bird. I reckon you'd hit a bird and you'd kill it. And as you get higher and higher, well, I mean, what does I can't remember off the top of my head. I will tell you in 2 seconds. Like the SE80, like when you look at what a 5.56 fires,
1,200 feet per second.
Yeah, in the terms of things, 500 and 1,200 isn't actually that far away.
No, it's not.
But also, you got to bear in mind the projectiles that we're firing. Generally weigh less than a third of a gram.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, with the sniper rifles, the heaviest BBs you can get in 6mm are essentially 4.8. I have not seen anything heavier than that. If you go to the Novrich 6 something mil BB, I think it goes higher, but there's no point in using.
But it's crazy, isn't it? Technically, that BB is bigger than a 5.56.
Well, 6 is bigger than 5.56. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Isn't that funny? When you look at all that.
But the weight difference is
of course it is. And it's
a lot more.
And it's obviously to do with the powder in it as well. So that gives it the potential of how much. So when we talk about subsonic and sonic, just normal, supersonic rounds, subsonic, you wouldn't use that at range. You use it as a close target thing because it's got no it's got no impact on it at all. It's good for slow, and usually it's 9mm anyway. Most people use for subsonic anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can tell, even with airsoft BBs, you can tell the difference in the sort of almost the damage that could be done by the weights. Like if you get a sniper rifle at point blank range with a heavy BB, that's going to break the skin.
Yes.
But that same, a different rifle shooting at 300 FPS with a 0.25 BB, it's going to make a mark. But
there we go. So, Nick, sorry, it's 3,250 feet per second for a 5.56.
Okay, yeah.
Subsonic is 1,100 feet per second.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So obviously we've spoke about obviously guns. Obviously you've just started. We've talked about optics for them. So let's talk about if I was to turn up at a Milsim with a G&G gun. If I turn up with a G&G gun, what would I still be? Is it usable? Is it still?
Mm-hmm.
Would I?
Of course it is.
What I get.
To be honest, I've ran a G&G and I changed the barrel just for a type ball. What was it? What is it? Mad Ball made like a Python or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those, mate, for ages. And do you know what? It did well. This is when I first played Airsoft, and don't get me wrong, when I first played, I went and spent stupid money, and then I realised, oh my god, I don't even play. Why am I spending? And it was more for the fact it was a toy. I'll be honest. It was like, oh, that looks Gucci on my wall, Yeah. And then I got a G&G to screw around in, and it cost whatever it did, 150 quid, and I didn't care if I broke it. So there's the difference instantly. It's why are you buying it? So again, we harp on about this again last time. Are you buying it because you just want to go out on a Sunday and you don't care if it breaks, or are you buying a TM? You're gonna care if it breaks, but you're gonna get it fixed because it's worth the money to get it fixed.
Yeah, and it's also probably going to be the time between breaks is going to be a lot longer.
Yeah. So it's like buying, crying, and immersion, or whatever. It's the same principle that theoretically that the better model should always last a little bit longer than the cheap version. But then I'll be honest. I mean, when G&G first came out with their electric blowback, whatever you want to call it, you know, that actually did really well.
Pneumatic blowback.
That's it. It's separated with plastic.
As Atterborn said in the chat, he's been using the cheap-ass Newport gun, and it does the job. And the thing is, they do the job. You know, you go to a Milsim with any gun, as long as it's not blue or you know,
pink.
has two-tone.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Look, if you get that, no one's going to know when you spray it if it was a blue gun before.
Yeah. As long as you've kind of resprayed it, then it's going to be cool. But you know, as long as it shoots, you know, and you're usually going to be good at the end of the day. It's a case of it's just how you use it over that course of that period.
Yeah, absolutely. And if, like you say, you're a little bit tech savvy, I mean, we're not talking about full upgrades, but just understanding the principle of how it's supposed to work, understanding how to adjust the hop. You know, you can still be just as effective in a fight, in a firefight as anyone else.
I mean, and that's it, mate. It could have. It's a bit like
It's like saying, you know, sorry to cut you off, mate.
That's
it's
right.
like saying, you know, like I go to my local airsoft field, yeah, I'm fully tacked up, looking the part. I'm still gonna get shot out by rental. You know.
Of course you are.
Oh yeah. I mean, last time I played at a site near Heathrow, and last time I played there was literally like 30 plus rentals there, and you get shot just the same as, you know, if you're playing against a team of hardened airsoft professionals, as it were. You know, they're still going to get you at some point. They're probably not going to be sneaky. They're going to spray and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? You go to airsoft knowing you're going to get hit.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you go to site and not expecting to get hit, then you're in the game for the wrong reason.
Look,
I mean, I went to Wolf Armories the other day, and there was these two guys who had come in to have a look, and they wanted to start playing aircraft, and they were basically looking at guns, and they were wondering, like, how do you know if you've been hit, and, you know, does it hurt, and all this kind of stuff, and you know you've been hit when you get hit. And quite often, you know, if it hurts, it's usually just as light as if you've been flicked. And, you know, unless you're stupid and you get point blank from a sniper or whatever, it's a walk off. And it's literally like, oh, right, okay, I've been hit.
But I mean, I haven't played a lot of airsoft. I really haven't, and not skirmishes anyway. And I've done a few Milsims, but. You know what? Even I know, like, it's like you go there and it's about honesty. And if you go there with the intent, which some people do, that think they think they are John Wick, then you don't turn up. You ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, and it's all about the attitude at the end of the day. And I find, you know, there are a lot of people who turn up to games with the wrong attitude. You know, they get hit, they get into arguments, or they decide, you know what, I'm not going to call it anymore. It, you know, it just, you know, it spoils it for everyone else.
Of course it does.
You know, like me and Jonesy, we played at Splatoon just before lockdown, and you know, I'd been calling my hits throughout the day, but one guy, you know, he thought, you know, his gun was shooting 150,000 meters, and he was like, "Oh, your mate's not calling your hits, his hits," and I'm like, "Mate, trust me, I've not been hit. I'll call it if I've been hit."
Oh yeah, because he had a go at me. That guy had a go at me. He's like, I'm hitting his hand. I'm like, I'm outside the building, dude. What the hell do I know? He's like, yeah, but you need to tell him. I need to tell him you're hitting him. Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. I can't even see him. And he's like, and then he's like, oh, okay. And then I ended up shooting him earlier. And he's like, oh, did I not get you? I thought I got you. I went, well, you weren't even looking at me when you were shooting. Oh, was I not? I was like, no. So I was like, how do you know if you got me or not got me? I went, no. You actually hit the container behind me. But I said, if I got hit, I'd have taken it. I've got no issues. I'll just turn around and come back out.
Yeah, sometimes you generally don't feel it. And, you know, I've had it before where I've kind of been hit on my back panel, or I've got a little backpack on and it's hit that, and I've not felt it or heard it because I'm doing something else. And not, it can be an honest mistake if you don't feel it, but then
absolutely.
Generally speaking, when you've been hit, you know it.
Yeah, of course.
And like me, I'm putting a couple shots on a target. I'm not going for the single shot. If I'm moving up on someone and someone's in my sights, it's 2 to 3 rounds.
You just hit. You know what? It's people who complain and going, "You don't need to shoot me 3 times." No one shoots once because no one takes that first hit.
No, no one will.
No, and it's
the thing is, I usually it's a little double tap or triple tap or whatever, and it's just in case that first one doesn't hit, because unless you're like lining up that shot, like regulating your breathing and doing all the shit, and then taking that one shot that's going to guarantee to hit. You're not doing that.
But not even that. It's like
running and shooting.
It's like your TMs with the Titan in it. That's an electric trigger. So that's not. That's a completely. You can get 3 rounds off so quickly that they're gonna hit you quick, and you're gonna be like, fuck. And that's what people. I think that's what people they don't realize. It's going 350 feet per second. So when you fire 3 in that second, all 3 of them are going at the same. They're going to hit you all at the same time, nearly. And
yeah, they will.
And so therefore, let's be honest. Grow a set of bollocks and shut up and take it. Walk away.
Obviously, I've noticed when playing skirmishes that if you do one tap someone, they're not going to take it. It's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or however many for that person to go, shit, I've been hit. Do
you know what? And also take the bang roll away. What a fucking joke that is.
And my rule of thumb is, and I'll say, if someone doesn't take the first 6 to 10 rounds, I'm going to put more into you until you take it.
Fuck it, I'm just putting it on burst.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a dick. But the thing is, you do get it where you will put 3 or 4 into someone, or 5 or 6, and they won't take it, and you will end up flipping the selector to full and going, right, let's try this again. And 9 times out of 10, they will take it. They will go, okay, fair enough.
The thing is, just Battles just kind of made a point in the chat. It's about headshots, and like the thing is, quite often when you're doing that, you shoot. You shoot center mass, and everyone's got a plate carrier, so they might not feel it. So you kind of move it around a bit. You might try for the belly, the soft bit where it'll sting a little bit, or if you can't do any of that, you're going to go for the head.
Yeah, but some people just stick their head out. So if you're sticking your head out, you're going to get hit.
And this is the thing. And this is the thing about not shooting at person's head. People can take the piss. They can literally stick their head over a parapet and shoot at you, and you can't shoot back. And that's just not on. You basically take it. I generally speaking with a sniper, I will shoot for the body, and then I'll maybe shoot for the head on the 3rd shot if they're not making it.
Yeah, I mean, like people are saying here, it's the old 1 is none, 2 is 1, but 3 is better.
Absolutely.
30
all day long.
Yeah, 4 rounds per person on average. I mean, with any AEG, anything you've got semi-auto on or auto, 4 rounds maybe is going to be what you're going to on average do for a person.
I like to do the rule of 4. Especially with I run PTS mid caps and they're 120 round capacity. So if I'm going to convert that to like a real life aspect where I know if I put 1 round and someone's in a mass in real life they're going down, I just do 4. And
again, but you got it. So you've got to hit a bloke even with 5.56 at least twice.
Exactly.
I mean, you just got to look at some of like the videos on Donut Operator's YouTube channel where he does the police shooting breakdowns, and how many rounds sometimes they have to put into someone to take them down,
mate. And you have to, because you like, so for example, you take a 7.62 round, and one of the reasons we moved away from that is because it goes straight through.
Yeah,
and it goes straight through out the other side, and mate, it'd still be running. Okay, where with a 5.56 it tumbles, so potentially it goes. Let's say it hits the shoulder and comes out the ass. Okay, and then obviously the reason you did that is because then when they went down, you take 2 more people out of the fight. But even with a 9mm, you ain't putting someone down unless you hit them in the head.
Yeah,
with one round.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen some yank body cams and stuff, and point blank, like one officer's put like 7 or 8 rounds in this bloke until he's dropped. That's
why you double tap. Like in the military, you double tap and one to the head if you can. And it's the same with a rifle in the CQB environment. You need to make sure that threat is done. And then let's be honest, in a real environment, okay, and you wouldn't do it in Airsoft because they don't allow you to, is you double tap them, put one in the head, and you'd probably then as you're walking up, double tap them again. If they've been trying to kill you, you're not just sticking 3 rounds into them. I'm sticking maybe 4 or 5. Right, yeah, people are going to go, well, what about ammunition? Mate, if you're in a firefight and someone should try to kill you, you're going to make sure that fucker is dead. You know what I mean?
You're going to put half a dozen into him when he's on the floor.
Yeah, and and another thing, you get taught, you get told in training, hey, count your rounds. Like, I'll be brutally honest, like, a lot of guys won't count the rounds when the rounds are going down, like, properly. Like, you'll be like, fuck, all right, I've got 1 mag left. You don't go, I've got 62 rounds left. You're like, I've got 1, you know what I mean? Again, it's, the heat, same with the gun. Like, and if you've got a GPMG, I don't need
you're not going to sit. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't need to worry about what rounds I've got left because that's what my number 2's doing. My number 2 is letting me. I'm the gunner. I'm carrying ammo. He's unfortunately he'll be in the firefight, but as soon as I'm running dry, his job is to get me back in the firefight. Okay, so a number 2 is always there to make sure that you've got ammo and it is ready to go, and that you're ready to put the rounds down. That's what a number 2 does. Even in a HMG role. Obviously an LMG, which we don't use anymore, you're using box mags, so you've got to know. But GPMG and HMG, so 50 cal, you have a number 2, and they are feeding you and they're setting you up and getting you ready to go.
Yeah, I mean you don't really need that in Airsoft, but I mean,
no, of course not. But I'm just, it's
It's a mentality thing, though. In Airsoft,
is, like, you look at obviously when I run the GPMG at Carewent or something like that. Yeah, it took 2 bottles, but certain people they took it out 2 box mag. A full box mag is over what 6,500 rounds, right? This one person done the whole fucking box in less than a minute, right?
Does he just keep his finger on the trigger?
Yep, and
he broke the gun as well. But anyway.
and then he bitched to me that we've used all the ammo. Well, sorry. You was a dickhead who spammed the fuck out of this gun and expected me to carry the tons of ammo. Yeah, I had a whole...
Alex, did you just get told off for swearing?
Yeah.
For the record,
he's with his in-laws, so he's getting told off for swearing.
I'm sat in the garden out of the way.
For the benefit of our viewers, that person's beefy. Yeah. Just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Just say it.
Yeah. We don't care anymore.
I think when we do ops, I will take in my 24 hours. So obviously the Mark 46, I will take the box mag, and I'll take 6-7 bottles with me. Yeah. I wouldn't expect anyone else to carry it. Carry the I'll carry it.
That's obviously, fine. Not in the Airsoft side, but carrying 1,000 rounds, and that you need to get someone else needs to carry 1,000.
Yeah, mate.
It's not light at the best of times. I mean, I got a little strip of spent rounds.
Nick carried it back. Nick carried it back from when we got in that firefight. And Nick was like, he had it on his shoulder, and then halfway through it, he's like, I'm carrying it normally. It's like, for an airsoft gun, it's got a bit of meat to it. It's not overly heavy. Yeah, but once that box mag's on.
When I was in the Corps, I was a GPMG gunner, and I used to top flap like 2,000 rounds, and that shit was heavy.
And then you may have a spare barrel as well, and then you've got
a spare barrel.
Yeah, and then you've got everything else that goes on. Obviously, we're talking about real life here. Obviously, in the Airsoft sort of side, you're carrying 10,000 rounds probably before you get to the side.
I mean,
10,000 rounds probably like 2 or 3
the one exception to the weight thing is the MWS mags. I think they're heavier than an actual M4 mag when they're full.
Oh mate, it's definitely heavier than the P mags.
Yeah, but mate, even the GHK, like the stagnant round like mags compared to the G mag as they call it, I'm not joking. Even I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to carry it. That's too heavy.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why I like TMs as well, is because of their weight, because they're all metal and they've all got a good weight to them. Mm-hmm. So it just improves the kind of the realism and feel and just makes you kind of use them a little bit more sensibly. Because I've got an Ares amoeba somewhere, and it's like plastic, and it's just super light, and it's just really weird to use.
I'm going to apologise to everybody who's watching that sees me yawning. I've actually now been up 24 hours because I got back in country fucking like 6 hours ago, and I'm knackered.
Yeah.
The thing is, obviously, you look at airsoft guns, you look at real steel guns. Obviously, last real steel I fired was cadets. Kind of have a rough idea, but people need to realise that airsoft and real steel.
Don't cadets just fire air rifles?
Yeah, they're not the same. They are not. People need to know.
I'm pulling your leg.
Yeah, fuck off. Just clocked what you said then. People need to realise that. I'm going to get a patch. They're not the same. People need to realise that they're not. They're going to be nowhere near the same. That your MWS or your fully tricked out gun will not reach 100 meters plus. It will reach 70 on a good day, less on a bad day. Like you need to. People obviously I've seen it. People like you said, Nick, you've gone out in the field going, I've hit you. There's no way you've hit me. There's just no possible physical way. But the thing is, so it is what it is, isn't it? Obviously, you can spend thousands of pounds like the DAS. You could spend that much money on a gun.
Oh my lord!
It's the nuts. It's the dogs dangly bits.
Yeah, but is it really?
Honest, I've only used it once.
Come on, let's look at it. Remember when PTW?
I did a review on the DAS. I got loaned one.
Oh yes, you did.
I did a couple of games with it, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. From an airsoft perspective, I really enjoyed using it. I like the stiff trigger pull. I like the bolt. The cycling bolt. Yeah, it was good fun.
But was it worth the $2,000 pay?
Is it worth the price tag? No, I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't pay that money for it.
There's another one as well. There's another one that actually uses essentially little cartridges that you put your BBs in, and it's a gas gun.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it. It's got like ejecting shells, and it's a
yeah.
I think it's based on the same platform as the GBLS, and that's like fucking £1,200 as well. And would I pay?
Yeah, it's a stupid price gun. No,
you could spend it on a TM and then go to camos and do a full upgrade and get better than probably that without.
Or you could basically buy 2 TMs and go to someone like Wolf Armories or someone else and get upgrades that are just as good as camos. Just saying, because John at Wolf Armories is literally the best gun tech around.
Yeah, but the thing is, we all have, and I don't mean to but we all have a favourite tech. And
we all have our own tech.
The thing is, though, the thing about John, and I didn't know this until relatively recently, John trained a lot of the people that everyone rave about. That's the crazy thing, is John trained so many people because he's been doing it so long.
Yeah. He done most of the airsoft zone lads, which is where I take my guns.
Well, I'm saying that
the camo raids lads. That's the thing. He trained the camo raids lads as well.
I'm sending my my 226 to Miguel to get it sorted. So
the thing is with me, like I love camo. I've taken the gun once. They did a decent job on it. But it's when certain people who use brands, who use reputable companies like that for a personal gain. I've never been a fan of it. Nick knows what I'm talking about. Steve knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Beefy.
Know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Beefy. Let's be honest. That
he paid. How much did he pay for that? He didn't pay much. He got most of his parts for free.
But people say, I did as well. I said, it's a bit much for me. But then I said, it all comes down to price. Would I love a full upgrade? Fuck yes. I mean, if you put £1,000 in front of me, and said spend it on a gun, I'd go the full upgrade. I really would. But it's when certain people that get it through whatever, through things like that, and then don't do anything back for the people that done it.
Well, and it's like, so, for example, I can relate. So when it comes to sponsoring, so I sponsored you guys.
Yep.
When you were DAG, and you know, so at the time, again, I didn't really know Nick, but we'd been speaking, you know, but as soon as because I know he's a bootneck, it doesn't really matter anyway. You know, I have to get to know the civvies. Bootnecks are instantly friends. Sorry, lads. But, you know, it's like, you know, for me, it's like, if I'm giving you, even if it's the smallest bit and it's not the best bit, and at the time, those smoke holders were a new idea that I hadn't perfected.
Yeah, it was a prototype, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But like for me, like it's like every photo you in, I need to be tagged in. You need to be talking about it. That's what the whole point of sending whatever. I can't remember how much. I sent quite a big box actually, didn't I? To you, Nick?
Yeah. You know, we had pistol holsters. We had the grenade pouches. I think there was mag pouches. You know, all sorts.
Yeah. Where now, like the mag pouches you've got, I you know, I'm gonna have to swap them because they're shit compared to what I can do now. But that's my mold's better and my technique's better. But the whole point is that what I need is so I look at it from a business aspect. If I'm sponsoring you, so like initially, like as a sponsor, I'd be like, hey, boys, here's 200 quid's worth, share it out equally. Not here's 200 quid's worth and one lad gets one item. It's not what I want. And then after that, you'll get a percentage off. And for me, I'm good, and you already know, Nick. I give all military lads and all service personnel, including the emergency service and coppers, at least 15% off straight away, which is more than what most people do.
Yeah.
And then if guys buy bulk, I tend to like I've had a lad before. He's gone, can I have a holster? This, and this. I'll tell you what, I'll do it for this, and I make it even a better deal.
That's everything you sent us, Ryan. So t-shirts, holsters.
I saw one thing of that. I saw
nothing from that.
So to me, that isn't what I want to see. As from a now the t-shirts, I'll tell you now. I told Nick to give one to Small because it was a bootneck one, and him to have one because it was a bootneck one, and then whatever for the rest. I didn't care. Okay. But the hats, yeah, they could go to whoever again, and then the stickers and all that sort of crap. So you know that to me, that's a couple hundred quid's worth of kit.
Yeah,
that's 200 quid's worth.
I saw a grenade holster, and that was it.
So for me, you know, I'm giving you stuff. Then I'm going to give you a great discount. So like for you lads, I've already told you everyone gets 15%. And now to me that's a good discount. You know, and if you buy more than one item, I will end up giving you like a 20% discount because that to me is how I treat loyal customers. Okay,
which is fair. It's obviously when you
we have the shameless Backcountry Workshop plug here. We have the Alex holster,
but we are it's like I've just made Alex one.
Yeah. When you sent me the price, I had no. It was a case of that's fine, do it, let's go.
But even
that was the best.
You went for copy G code. But in that price, I would have got you real G code. Yes, I'd have made less, but I said to you, "What do you want?" Yeah, so I'm prepared. I'm prepared to take a hit. So, you know, for me, it's not about.
And the thing is that I will, and when I get it, I will be sharing the absolute shit out of it because you've done me one, I'll do you one. That's how it works, isn't it? When certain people, when people don't do that, people will get something from a brand and share nothing back.
Yeah, and
it's not even that as well. It's you know you get like Ryan at the end of the day he's a one-man band. You know he's not in a factory. He's not mass producing his products. He's making his products by hand. You know that all takes time effectively. And you know when we've been he's taking the time to make this kit for us, and you know obviously. As a sponsored player, I'm obviously going to promote that item as well, and especially if I believe in the product, and which I do. I do. You know, I'm going to share the love, so to speak. But when you've got what you wanted from someone, and you no longer have any use for them,
that's wrong.
That's where I have a real problem.
So obviously, we there was a slight little mess up, weren't it, Ryan? Like obviously, something went wrong. You told me, and I was like, "Mate, I don't care. Like, I trust you." And that's the thing about it. You have that relationship with brands like yourself. That you're a one-man band. I'm not gonna I ain't gonna chase you, mate.
No.
I trust you, and that's the thing
And
about.
the thing is things go wrong all the time. I mean, all the time things go wrong. People ask, and like, so for example, one of the lads wanted something. He go, "Can I get it before you go away?" I said, "Look, I will try." And I said, "If I can't, you'll get it like the following week." And so you all know, you guys know, I've been away for 9 days out of the country working, and I'm back today. The first thing I did, and Carla's was like, "You don't even rest." I'm straight in there, and I'm making because I told you the materials here. I'm getting your mustard squared away. It's like I've told Nick, I'm just waiting for it to get shipped from the US to here because I have to. Stephen, though, I have to get it shipped to a separate US account to then get shipped to me because they don't ship outside the US. And it has nothing to do with being illegal. It's just they don't want to ship to the UK for whatever reason. And,
it's like the message I sent you of appreciation for when you said I've done it.
Yeah.
Like shit, mate. I know what you've been through. Like I know what you've done the last couple of days. It's been a hard graft. You come straight and it was just. It's just. I said I'll say it now. I'll say it. It's just pure love for you as a person and as a brand. That the fact is, you've been home less than 4 hours and you've just gone. Done. That's it. It's done.
I'm just answering Ricky.
Go away, Ricky.
I'm actually Night Warrior. Is that the one that's like a 1911 but got like the meaty front end?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to make 2 of them.
At the end of the day, I always believe if someone's going to do you a solid, you do them a solid by either promoting or just being a nice, decent person about it. And he wasn't. But we digress. We digress. So
and that's the way it should be. It's like you look.
I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Well, not even that. I've learned, look. In the past, I got too much. I was getting too much, and I was trying to do it all so quick that I was screwing up, and then I was taking too long. But then that's the whole point of learning the business is understanding your flow, etc. I mean, like, so you would have seen that, I made some inserts for a company recently on Instagram.
Yep.
That are potentially going to, one of our elite forces. Well, like, I kid you not, if they buy my part of it, I will physically have to but physically have to employ someone and get a unit because I wouldn't be able to make it.
Me, I need a decent job. Employ me.
I mean, literally, mate, I won't be able to do the demand on my own in my garage. I'd have to get a 6-month.
And I'll tell you what, mate. Like, there's a dark art to Kydex, and it's not as easy as it looks. Because I've made my own Kydex inserts when I was with Ryan, when I went to Ryan's house. And it was quite difficult.
If you need someone just to make you a cup of tea every now and then, I'll take it.
But, I mean, I'm joking. Like, don't get me wrong, it'll be good money in the sense of it'll make the company because then I can say, hey, we did this. So, therefore, you start opening a few more doors. But I wouldn't do it on my own. I'd be stupid too.
Yeah. So, obviously, we digressed a little back.
I'm going to go get your holster.
Back to weapon systems. We've spoken about main weapon systems. Like, so, obviously, Nick, you spoke, and so did Steve about your nighttime weapon systems. So, let's just say I want to buy myself a pistol, and we know TM is the brand to go for. And if I'm starting off new, WE or G&G, but there's so many different models and types out there. I know it's your personal preference. What would you prefer as a pistol model? Obviously, I'm a Glock. I love a Glock. I know Steve's not a Glocky fan. And
no.
So what about you, Nick? What as a base wise, like Glock or Sig or something like that? What would you say your personal favourite?
So I run a Sig P226 TM. I like the pistol. I like that it's a bit chunkier than a Glock, but I don't know. I might end up switching to a Glock at some point. Jess, my other half, she's got the TM HK45. That's a beast of a pistol. It's all about personal preference, to be honest with you. It depends on what you like in your hands, because effectively they all do the same thing.
Yeah, and you're right. The same with, so you look at this is the WE version. And the reason I like this is because it's got the metal slide. But then I've got the Umarex Glock 19, and I like that. And actually, I felt the Umarex has a better kick than this does.
So the thing is that one of the things about all the TM pistols, because of Japanese law, none of them have a metal slide because they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
But they make a really, really solid pistol. Arguably, I mean, this is my TM M&P 9, which is probably my favorite pistol. It's a solid performer, but I've upgraded this.
Yeah.
But then you've got like the Mark 23, which is arguably the best sniper pistol around.
I've got is it ASG? Is it ASG that make one?
ASG make one.
Yeah, because I think I've got the ASG version.
So the TM one is just a really solid shooter out of the box. It's really well made. You can upgrade it and make it even better.
Saying that,
it's all plastic, but it just works really well. But the thing about, again, we kind of touched on this earlier, the number of upgrades you can get for all the TM range of pistols is insane. This is my P226. Now, unlike Nick's P226, which is pretty much original, right? The only original bits of this is the trigger and the levers.
Is that a Garda kit on it?
It's got completely everything inside's a Garda and outside's Garda. It's metal, it's heavy, it feels like a real thing. I actually, in my storage in the States, I own one of these anyway. And yeah, it feels very much like the real thing. And when you've got metal on it, the kick is definitely better. Like I shot the plastic version of this essentially before I upgraded it, and then shooting this, and this has got more of a kick on it. You can use stronger gas in it as well. Whereas with the TM pistols, you are kind of limited to the lower power gas if you don't want to trash the gun for extended use, because it will break the slide and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's they make solid pistols. Some of the other makes, like the Umarex guns, you're in a bit of a lottery with Umarex because they use KWA and VFC to make their gas guns. And generally speaking, if they're made by VFC, it's a complete rubbish gun. It's only really good for showing people on a wall. But if it's a KWA gas system, it's generally better. TM make some of the best internals, which is one of the reasons why they're such a good gun. You can. The funny thing about pistols is they're all, no matter what brand they are, they're all priced around the same ballpark.
Yeah, they are.
The thing is, you can get. I was looking this on Thursday actually. There was Wolf Armories had a Wii Glock. They had the new TM Glock 17 Gen 4 and the Glock 19, and they're all about the same price. I think they were within like £5 of each other.
Do you know what I want? And I actually seen it. I want the M17, so the 6320, but the military version.
I want that myself as well.
I like the look of it.
ASG are the ones who are selling, because it's made by, well, it's not made by SIG, but it's SIG contract. SIG has contracted, I think, VFC to make it, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
they are bringing one out.
Pardon?
I think TM are bringing one out, a P320.
So yeah, TM are bringing out the P320.
Which because it's made by it's called a SIG Air, isn't it? It's called a SIG Air M17.
Yeah, so the SIG Air is because SIG decided last year to basically get into airsoft, so they cancelled all their licensing arrangements.
Yeah.
And said, right, we're going to basically make airsoft guns now, but they're not making them themselves. They're subcontracting the work to
because
an OEM,
that's the same with the MCX, because they're looking to bring out a gas blowback, which I'll be honest, I will be getting one.
Yeah, I kind of saw they've got an AEG one already, and it looks really, really interesting.
Well, no, you see, the thing is, they have very few left. Very, very few left that are coming into the country. If you speak to Gaz, E27 and Red Wolf, like if they get them, if people get them, it's because they get them at first.
Yeah.
But they're sold out so quickly as soon as they come in.
That's on top of my list. If someone's offered me a TM fully tricked out NWS over an MCX, want an MCX. There's just something about them that's.
Yeah.
It just looks nice.
Did you see recently the other guy on Instagram? You know the new Emerald light that looks like a lightsaber in a sense, and it's been all over Steve. It's made by who's it made by? Begins with B. Oh God.
I know what you're talking about now.
The company begins with B, and I can't think of its bloody name.
Yeah, I can see it in my head, but I can't name it.
Let's see if I can find it because it's doing my nutting, and I've got. So anyway, this guy's just made one to fit on the MCX, but he's made it so you open it up and put your battery in, and then shut it, and it looks nuts. And don't get me wrong, if you're a traditionalist in the sense of you're making it look like I don't know who uses them at the moment. The Met Police, then it won't go right, but it just looks naughty. So, it's the MCX looks nice. I like it. I dab it in a gas blowback. I again, going from we're talking about, we all here use a weapon that has a bolt release. So even my KWA, and has a bolt release. And the great thing I like about the KWA is I can go from 120 rounds to 30 rounds. I can just switch a little switch on the bottom of my mag. And I'm
you can do that with the PMags for the TMs as well.
Oh yes, you can, because Nick got some, didn't you?
But the problem with them, they're inside. You've got to open them up.
Yeah, see, with mine doesn't on the KWA. It's on the bottom, and even with the PTS ones. Yes, that's it there.
Yeah.
So even the one on the PTS ones for my version, you've got a little switch on the bottom, and I like that because again, there's a little bit of realism to it, but I prefer the gas because everything is exactly the same. There is nothing different except for a bit of recoil.
I mean, the 35 rounds or so, you're getting a mag.
I get 40 in a GHK. B Myers, there you go. Thank you, Muddy.
And then, feedback. You get all the gas blowback guns. You've just got elements of realism in how you use them. So even with the pistols, they lock back. You've got to swap mags and then and reset, as it were.
Yeah, but I've noticed. I don't know if it's something you've had. Like not with some mags. They don't always lock.
Yeah, anyway.
So
I think it's.
I've got an issue at the moment where one specific recoil mag doesn't lock back, as in it you'll fire a couple of rounds for it and it'll rattle itself through. Nice feet, Nick.
Just got a new tattoo.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, so she's showing it off.
to the internet, by the way.
Yeah,
to the world.
So she's got an OnlyFans.
It really hurt.
For the people that want to basically pay money to see those feet, there is an OnlyFans.
There is.
Yeah, no. Well, wait, guys. If you want to see, you got to do like $460. Oh, Nick. No one's paid yet. You're giving them a free show.
Well, that's a teaser, isn't it? If they want 4K imaging, then obviously there's a subscription fee of $10.99 a month.
So next week, basically, Nick's not going to be here, but his missus is, and it's going to be £50 entrance fee to watch.
So, I've currently got a TM mag, one of the actual TM mags where it will rattle itself free, but the PTS mag will stay solid. But it's only on one mag. There's one.
Yeah, so I've got, in terms of AEG, I've got 8 PTS mags now, so that's my full loadout complete. I mean, ideally, I need one more, just because then I can have one in my gun, and then I've got
no.
and 2 in my belt.
You need 10, so you need to carry 8, and then carry 9 and have one on you.
Yeah, and then I've got about 14 TM recoil mags.
You need to get
which are carried in a bag just in case, right?
Yeah, just in case, exactly.
A double mag holder. What do you call them? Yeah, like a mag grip thing.
Oh yeah. So I can double stack them.
Yeah, or you can get a ready mag like they used to use in the old days.
I actually have one of those little double stack things for my MP5 that I can just double stack the mags.
Do you know what? I recently talk about that. So I'm going to real with. So I obviously anyone that follows on Instagram knows I get to shoot a bit now and again, and lucky enough. But one of the guys, he had just he sells weapons for a living. He's a gunsmith, like a gun dealer, and he just brought a brand new. I say brand new. It wasn't brand new, but a 1969 AK-47, straight out the box, never used. Like, and I got to put round. I was like, got to put rounds for it. But he used to be an 80. And he goes, so he had some mags that he got from one of the lads. And the way for the AK, for how the guys got it, like fucking welded the mags together so they could have it double stacked.
Nice.
So they welded these two AK mags together. I was like great genius, but yeah, awesome.
This could potentially go wrong.
Yeah.
It kind of almost sounds like something seen on Demo Ranch, actually.
I tell you what, I like watching Matt. He's funny as hell.
Oh,
Yeah,
you a vet? Yeah, I'm a vet. A veterinarian.
I mean, I've been watching Lunkers TV a lot over the last week, and he has a lot of really nice toys.
Oh yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff. Lunkers does.
I'd like to do some more real steel shooting over in the UK, if it was possible.
Well,
Or just anywhere.
it is possible. I mean, it is possible to an extent, and there are places that allow you to do days and stuff. You know what? I think we're just. Did it say no? Ricky, it didn't have the grease paper on it because he'd obviously already had it. It'd have been great though, but it was awesome. No, I mean there is, but we're so. Oh my god, we're so anal in this country. It drives me mad. Like we're the only country in Europe that doesn't have firearms as a regular thing for coppers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a very different societal thing about firearms in this country as well. We're almost not used to seeing them.
Yeah.
But
I'm always under the impression that
we start talking about them as well. That's the thing.
I'm always under the impression that like people are like, well, they don't need them. Well, actually, there are definitely times when they do need them, and you would rather have than not, and than to want.
I mean, just on that, you know, obviously me with me being in the job, etc. You know, we're looking at a point where every frontline police officer will soon have taser.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, more people are carrying weapons now.
Yeah.
And more people are committing, you know, violent acts of crime. So there will be a point where every officer that wants one will have taser.
Fair one, which makes sense. Oh, excuse me, guys.
And you know, like, you know,
what
in on my shift, I think I attended the second most amount of incidents last month, and
oh, really?
I'd probably have been more if I was a taser user, because I know I'd go to taser deployments as well.
Okay. Fair one.
But then I don't plan on staying on response anyway. I tend to go somewhere else within my job. So
fair one, mate.
So obviously, yeah. So obviously we spoke about what basically our subject tonight, really. So we might as well just
we have.
We've covered everything.
Well, look, we got a few more. We can talk about a bit of rubbish. What are people wanting to talk about?
Go for it. Ask the questions, because we're all obviously tonight's one of the nights where we can go that little bit longer because we're all in that kind of mood to chat.
After the guns again, lads, the 50 cal lot posted about it on Facebook. Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that again.
So let's keep in the airsoft of the topic of airsoft. So me and Steve have been speaking before, and I think I've mentioned it briefly to both you and Nick. Was a tag firing Mark 18 TMG. How
my
nuts
God.
would that be?
It'd be pretty cool.
And how do you think that would feel on a Milsim thing? Do you reckon it would be something that's frowned upon, or do you reckon it would be?
No, but what you do is you use it for effect, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah,
so,
like vehicle-mounted LMGs and stuff. You know, they use for effect.
But to be honest, like if you're going to do that, Steve, you do need to speak to Tag about getting a cheaper choice when it comes to buying banks, because you know you're going to want. Let's be honest. I mean, I know I would. You're going to want putting 10 rounds down, and lads would be like, "What the hell?" And it would become raining in.
I mean, just digress a little bit. I mean, me and Steve at the SEO event last January, mate. This is a single shot tag launcher, and Steve was my number 2, and put all the bangs out, didn't we, Steve?
we did.
There must have been at least 20, 30 plus pyro going off of that.
Have we got enough for this one, Steve?
We've got 5 boxes of tag rounds.
So what's in a box?
10.
6, 12.
Nice. Oh, what, are they all impact?
No, timed.
Oh, naughty.
We are definitely going to upset some people.
Mate, I'm ready for it. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Oh, the tag mortar. Someone's talking about the tag mortar. That looks awesome as well.
Yes.
But you know what? Was I speaking to you, Alex? We need to get Steve. We need to get an AT4.
So,
you know it sounds good.
Yeah. So,
or 66. A 66 would be cool if you could pull it out and have the round in there and then fire it, because that would just look gooch.
Just post up in the middle of a fucking firefight. Post up, just boom.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
And find a way that you could feed it from the back, so it just goes.
Yeah, the thing about like those there's a company that sells them, but it's like having the loading of them's a ball ache.
Yeah.
And that's kind of loses the fun when it's a ball ache. I mean, if you look at the normal grenade launch, I think, hold on, if I find the one we did our epic 17 round session with
the pirate gun.
Yeah.
Emily, can you take the stick out?
So this is basically the pirate gun that we were using for that, with the tag round launching tube, and we would. Oh, this one's a bit tight in this, but effectively, I had like 3 of these on the go, filling each one. Nick was firing it, passing, and I was passing him the next one. He was passing me the dead one, and we just had a little bit of a chain going, just popping them off with this guy.
That was a fucking awesome firefight and a half. Like they just walked in and it just went wrong for them doing it.
Oh yeah, they thought they'd roll right through us. Nah, not today, mate.
No, not today.
Mate, so who's got a grenade launcher for this one?
I've
not.
not.
Me.
So is it me and you, Steve?
I've got my 230 or 220, whatever, 220, whatever, and I've got this. I do have an underslung, but it's broken, so we won't be using that.
Saying that, you can pick up a decent. What's that, Nick?
This was £29.
But you can pick up like an M203. Is it an M203 that goes underneath an M16?
Yeah.
You can pick them up for 55 quid off. It might have been DEFCON or SOCAM Tactical. I seen the other day. Shorties as well.
So I had the Mad Bull one, which I actually used to have underneath the 417.
Yeah.
And it was great. It worked, but the thing is, there was basically one of the grub screws basically struck itself loose and jammed the whole thing up. So it just added extra weight to the gun, and this gun's not light as it started at the beginning with. So I kind of decided to take it off and just run without. But this guy here was like £29 from Patrol Base.
Or you just buy a 6-shot.
And then, it's really, really good value.
Yes, I know you had one.
Yeah, we did have one, and then it got sold before anyone got the chance to buy it, because I would have had it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the
Who
ICS
sold it?
one now.
I would have had that.
Have a guess.
Yep.
Hold on. Did the team actually have a 6-shot grenade launcher and it got sold?
We had an MGL. We bought an MGL.
Yeah, Beefy sold it, didn't he? He took all the money, like he did with the Team PayPal. Took all the money. Oh, guess that cat's out of the bag.
We had an MGL.
One glass, mate. I've been up over 24 hours, so one glass tonight. Dan's asking because obviously we got absolutely smashed in wheel.
So ATRG asks you, Ryan, On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being sober and 10 being hauled off at live stream at 1 a.m., how pissed are you?
I'm -1. I'm tired. I've had one glass of pull the pin, and then I mixed it because I had no mixer with Noco, red berries, caffeine. Yeah.
We need to have a chat in our page about August. We need to get a date settled for that.
Roger.
We need to get a date settled for that one. But we did have an MGL, and I'd love to have had that for tags. Could you imagine that? Thump, 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 just absolute going to ham.
Yeah. That's just...
I mean, yeah, it's a shame. I mean, you can still buy them. I mean, they're quite easy to get hold of at the moment because they're ICS ones.
I think they're about 50, 60 quid.
No, a little bit more. ICS ones are about 150.
Not too sour.
No, it's not really.
It's we've obviously Steve probably has them. It's the cost of tubes. The actual tag tubes themselves, from what I've heard, are quite pricey.
Yeah,
well,
so
about
these are
78
like
quid.
Yeah, there's something in the region. I mean, these are the Gen 2 ones.
Is that the one you can? How many fills?
This is. Hold on, which one is this one? This is the. No, this is a Gen 2 Evo, which is like the second. So hold on, let me get one of the old Gen ones, which I've got knocking around here.
Is this the one that exploded on your belt?
No.
I fucking never doing that again.
This is one of the original CO2 ones, the Pro Tube.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new generation Pro Tube. I think this is actually 90 quid, if memory serves, and these were about 80 quid.
Well, I'm about to look now. So when you're looking on, there's at the moment, there's like the Tag Innovation case for a Mark II type ammo. What is that in comparison? And that looks like a little shell.
So let me just.
Yeah, because the multi-range shell is 134 quid.
So let me just grab some rounds.
Not 80 quid. 80 quid for that one you just showed.
So I've got just find a few rounds to show you guys. So actually, I just found a box that I didn't realize I had.
Is that more tag rounds?
Yeah. So this is the multi-range one.
Yeah.
So it has a little dial where you can set how much gas it's going to effectively fire out and hit a target at.
Yeah.
Then we've got the rounds. Essentially, we have what effectively are Reaper rounds. These are fuse timed rounds. You've got two sort of fuse styles. This one's a 4.5 second, and they do a 3.5 second.
And I mean, out of that 10, are they all going to fire? Do you get any duds?
You might get a dud or two. And the thing is, with the duds on the timed ones, it's because the plunger that sets the timer off hasn't pushed in, so you can quite often get away with using them again.
Okay.
These are impacts. These are different. So these you're required to hit something for it to go off. And the way these arm is a button in the back here.
So talking about tags, Steve. Did you ever find out the issue we had with Sennybridge?
So I think it was with all the tags that failed. They were all impacts, if memory serves. So impacts were a little bit finicky.
So then here's a question for you. While you're saying that, if you're finding they're not firing and you can get them back, what is the return policy on that then, if any? There
isn't. I mean, Tag are a Russian company. They don't have CE markings on the pyro. Technically speaking, they really shouldn't be sold in the UK because they don't have a CE marking on them. Legally, they should all have a CE marking on them because that's the whole pyrotechnics rules effectively dictate that. So it's kind of one of the reasons why things like TLS effects and so on are so expensive on some of the things is because they're all legit and they've got
so
markings.
they're compliant and like ISOs in place that allow. So then again, another question: if a TFLX the one doesn't go off, are you entitled to anything back on that?
No, they generally don't. They don't sort of give you money back. What I generally do, for instance, TLSFX, because I'm trained with Pyro and I speak to them quite a lot when I buy, and most of the stuff that I buy from them is kind of custom made. I'll let them know when something's not worked.
Yeah.
And just say like we had an issue with mortar rounds, and we had a batch of mortar rounds that just didn't go off.
Yeah.
Or they were exploding in the tube.
Nick, didn't we know about it?
That's never fun.
But there's stuff like that, and with those, they you let them know, and they'll investigate. They'll look at their batch and make sure that they're screwed up.
Yeah. Is there any questions? We got any questions? Oh, here we go.
So I got the multi-range and I got the Evo 2. With the multi-range, I just put it on max. I always use the multi-range on max. That's it. It's just fine on max. I treat it like an Evo. The thing I found with the new ones is they're a bit fatter. They don't fit in most tubes.
Go on, Ryan. Question. You were saying someone's asked a question.
Yeah, sorry. So we got Dan again from ATRG. MGRS is not right about kit, but a single tube like an M203 with a couple of preloaded tag tubes is way easier to haul around. Makes sense. Don't bother with the multi-range. The Evo 2 is the one to get, and the first CO2 charge. I never has had.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was just talking about. It's basically the tubes. The multi-range, I generally stick it on max.
I tell you what, I remember having like a TSLFX grenade once, and I literally, luckily, I do what I'm taught. Obviously, the spoon goes in the palm of my hand, so when I throw it, it goes off and goes that way. I remember playing a game once, and I literally threw it, and it only left my hand by about that much, and it went off.
So bear in mind, they do have a standard shotgun primer to actually start the thing going off.
Yeah,
and that's probably what did the bang.
Okay.
So I had the Gen 1 Enola Gay Mill Smoke, the Mill Smoke X, which is basically the clone version of the British Army smoke. So I bought 2 of them at 30 quid a pop. Both failed to go off. Both spoon released and nothing happened. Did I get my money back? No. Did I report it? Yes, and I got told, we will sort something out, and nothing came from it.
Oh, really?
However, I now know that they've released a Gen 2 version, but because of the price tag of 30 quid a pop, I ain't going to buy them.
Yeah.
I will send a photo to our chat of I found a smoke grenade at my site, which was about 10 inches in length and about 4 inches in width, and an Enola Gay smoke grenade.
Yeah.
So
I want that.
This is the TL SFX M13 thermobaric.
They definitely they make a loud bang when they go off.
So this is the spoon release one, and
I can't see it.
Can you not see me?
No.
I can see you.
Oh, sorry. There you go. My bad. I was looking at bloody YouTube, mate. I'm tired. Sorry.
Yeah. So ring pull, lever, and so basically on just like your GR20 or whatever, under you've got a
striker.
You've got a proper striker,
yeah.
And so there is an actual primer in here, and that's what's going off initially.
Got you.
And a lot of people, when they use these for the first time, they think that when you've thrown it, it's gone off. It's gone off prematurely, but in fact, it hasn't.
So for people that don't like me, I don't know much about tag. So this is probably a great question now. I mean, some of the guys seem to know. If I'm going to buy a tag, what am I buying? Like, what do I have to get to make sure it is going to work? So I know obviously I need a shell.
You need the tube.
Yep.
You need the CO2 fist of some form, depending on the tube you've got.
So are they all CO2?
They have a green gas version, but the green gas version is rubbish and really shouldn't be used. And I'm trying to remember where I put my You've got two sorts of fists. You've got the old style and the new style. I don't have the old style to hand, but this is a new style. And you basically pop
What, a little CO2 cylinder?
Yeah, it goes in as a bulb in here.
How many do you get? How many fills do you get out of that then?
I think it kind of depends, really. I find that basically I'm kind of recharging this every maybe 5.
So potentially you're having to spend a good 200 quid just to start.
So
without,
to start
without buying the launcher.
But the question is, obviously, I know I've spoken briefly to Steve a long time ago about tags. Is certain brands of launchers do not accept tags, as in there are certain ones that they're either too loose or too tight. So my question is to you, Steve, then, if I'm, like Ryan said, if I'm going to start tags, what would you recommend as a launcher that could comfortably accept tags?
So just the launcher that Steve's got, I reckon.
Basically,
what brand? As in, obviously, like I said that. Yeah, I agree with what. But you look at certain under UGLs,
so we'll go for example the M320. So the handheld purpose standalone, or you can put it on a rifle. What brand would you use?
So the problem with those is basically if it's sliding back, and I'm trying to find my broken Mad Bull one.
So you're on about the old school grenade one.
So what I'm trying to say is Mad Bull, as in, if we were talking about brands in general, Mad Bull have a launcher.
Yeah,
would you say that Mad Bull, you can use tags for Mad Bull, or if ASG had a launcher, would you say ASG launchers?
Or Aries does the 320, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the thing about Mad Bull, they do a lot. So they do the Havoc range of launchers, which I'm just trying to find it now, actually, because this broke basically. So I kind of mentioned before about a grub screw. So there's a screw that basically fell through, and this is supposed to go forward a lot further and slide out, which makes it possible to put the round in, because effectively you've got this long tube. You've got to kind of get in.
Tube stuck in there?
Yeah.
Have you got a tube stuck in?
There's a tube stuck in there because this won't move forward any further. Which is annoying.
I will come round with a grinder, mate, and we'll just cut that off.
Cut that off. The thing is, it's a nice launcher. I just need the screw getting out, basically. And I tried loads of things without getting a drill at it. I don't think I'm going to get it out. But effectively, this is going to come far forward enough to get that in. Now, if you've got the old 203s, they just go forward and they don't move to the side. So effectively, you're going to have that much gap or thereabouts to slide it in.
So would you say a majority would you say a majority of UGLs will take tag rounds?
There's a good number as long as they are long enough to get that space to fit it in. This is a short one, but this would get round it by sliding this when it moves forward. It's supposed to then go like that.
Yeah.
To give you the ability to go into the side because it's short. If you've got to launch the same length of this like a 203 launcher, it will not work. However, if you've got the longer ones, you might.
No, but
will work.
That will work. I've seen tags go out there. I've also seen people.
I've got one of those somewhere, which I'm trying to find.
I've also seen people put beer bottles at the end of them and neck them, mate. So next time we're on, beer bottles.
Steve, we need to make a 3D mount of this. We can put a red dot on it, so it raises and sits nicely. So you can just raise it up on a swivel.
Yeah. So like ATRG said, all M320s are compatible except the Marui ones.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, because the Marui one basically has gas, holds the gas internally itself. Whereas, because it basically fires kind of like its shotguns do, basically.
Yeah. I'm going to give a 10-minute warning, guys, just to let you know, because
we'll wrap it. Let's start to wrap it up now then, because obviously time's getting on. It's starting to rain here, and I'm getting wet. Ryan needs to sleep. I think Nick's got work, so let's kind of wrap it up. So we've spoken about, obviously, you started Airsoft brand new. What are your brands? We've spoken about optics. We've spoken about tag, as in launchers, and we've spoken about UGLs in general. I think we've pretty much covered the basis of what we're going to speak tonight.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any more brief questions?
Yeah, one last question.
Other than that, I think that's basically it for the night, isn't it, guys? Really?
Yeah, the one thing I would actually add about just weapon add-ons is debals and lasers. Whilst we wait for a question,
Roger.
just making sure that you've got a decent one that you can zero. There are lots of crap out there, and if you're paying a lot of money for nods, pay a decent amount of money for your debal.
Again, isn't it? It's always like, you know, you buy cheap, you buy twice, sort of type of attitude.
Yeah.
So obviously, let's wrap that up for tonight. We've kept it. We've done it. So obviously, we'll be on next Saturday. We'll share what we're going to do halfway through the week. Obviously, if you guys have got any questions that you want to ask us, just feel free to message either myself, Alex_E_04, Backcountryworkshop, Skambo _1664.
Yeah, and also share it for us, lads, please.
Yes, obviously, and then at Azrel Sutcliffe, obviously, if you've got anything you want to ask any of us, then again, message us privately or anything you want to do. And then obviously, again, it'll help us guys if you shared the YouTube page, again, Azrel Sutcliffe's YouTube page, and again, just reach out to us, guys. We're always happy to help you with answers, and we hope you enjoyed our night like we have.
Yeah.
And if you've got
everyone.
catch you all guys on the flip side.
Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I shall chat to you boys soon.
Chat to you boys. I'll have a look, guys.
All right. See you later.
See you guys.
See you.
Yes, sir.
Hit me. I
Okay.
was walking into the room